wicked project. The President is of course on record as stating in public that he is, and this is in his own words, not going anywhere. When people tell him to finish and go home, he further retorts, "I am here to stay." The Constitution of Kenya is clear on this matter. However, Article 142, subsection 2 asserts, "A person shall not hold office as president for more than 2 terms." And Article 2, subsection 2 states, "No person may claim or exercise state authority except as authorized under this Constitution." And Article 3, subsection 2 states with finality, any attempt to establish a government otherwise than in compliance with the Constitution is unlawful. Whether President Uhuru Kenyatta schemes to stay on in another guise after the expiry of his term, exercising state authority, or whether he purposes to intimidate election officials to give electoral victory to his Azimio project, he is clearly in breach of the Constitution. The President is proving to be the one foremost impediment to a democratic, free and fair election. We urge him to respect the sovereignty and supremacy of the people and the sanctity of their will as expressed through democratic elections. He should now step out of the way and allow the Constitution and the people to prevail. We also urge the President and his cabinet to distance themselves from other and publicizing of falsified opinion polls on the forthcoming elections. These cynical polls are intended to demoralize voters who are of a contrary persuasion. They are also intended as a curtain raiser to other electoral malpractices. Theft, and I want to really emphasize this, theft of an election by the government is theft that is the worst of any crimes that people can commit. It is theft of their sovereignty. And when someone has stolen the people's government and their will, he is ready to commit every other crime in the world. We urge the President to distance himself from these acts. We urge him to try to salvage his government's reputation by respecting the Constitution and the people in these last moments of his regime. To state officers who have allowed themselves to be used to breach the Constitution and election laws, we remind you that best practices from elsewhere have shown that in the end you will be held personally responsible for any breaches. Such is the fate of those who breached the American law in the January 6, 2021 incident. Today, they are facing the music without the Grand Master who encouraged or bullied to break the law. Good. Let me remind them, your own day will come when you'll be on your own. Our law is clear on that. We have previously called for protection of elections officials at all levels, including service providers, as well as their equipment and materials. We restate this call. Even without being elections officials, the state owes them duty of care as citizens or as visitors in our space. As election officials, however, they impose extra premium of duty of care on the state. There can be no compromise on this. On its part, the IEBC must reassure Kenyans on the safety of all election materials, including its handling and distribution. Finally, to the people of Kenya, please do not be cowed or feel frustrated. We are only going through the darkest hour that must come before dawn. Freedom is coming. Be patient. Avoid any provocation to violence. Avoid any other breaches of the law. Prepare to come out in large numbers to vote. Kenyans must and will defeat the sinister schemes of the Azimio project and its equally sinister leadership. It shall not be long before the will of people prevails. Tumejipanga and freedom is coming. Asanteni sana. Now my colleagues will help me after that long statement.
Thank you, Honorable Davadi. Fellow Kenyans, you're fully aware that the most poorly guarded secret in this country today is the attempts by the outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta to clone himself and remain on the scene wearing the facade called Azimio. We know that the people of Kenya will not allow him to do that. But in doing so, they are employing state agencies in all forms and manifestations to subvert the process of delivery of a free and fair election. To IEBC, we urge you to remain steadfast, don't act in fear, don't fear to act to deliver a credible election to the people of Kenya. Attempts by various agencies, including but not limited to the security apparatus in this country, have been a daily occurrence. But the worst is when the state wants to frighten away IEBC contractors that are so key and critical in the delivery of a free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. We in Kenya Kwanza are confident that Kenyans are with us, and Kenyans will vote with us to deliver freedom and economic emancipation for the people of Kenya from state capture that is now roaming on our country like a colossus. We want to urge Kenyans to be eternally vigilant, especially the maneuver